Hello everybody, can you hear me? I think you probably can. Hello world. Normally this is a place where I would read and discuss a poem, usually somebody from Oregon. But as today is the 4th of July, I figure I'd read a couple of kind of patriotically themed poems. And so I've got 5 here, or you can say maybe 4.5, kind of depending on how you look at it. I want to start with a poem by Walt Whitman. I hear America singing. This is from, like all of his poems from Leaves of Grass. I hear America singing. I hear America singing, the varied carols I hear. Those of mechanics, each one singing his as it should be, blithe and strong. The carpenter singing as he measures his plank or beam. The mason singing his as he makes ready for work and leaves off work. The boatman singing what belongs to him on his boat. The deckhand singing on the steamship deck. The shoemaker singing as he sits on his bench. The hatter singing as he stands. The woodcutter's song, the plowboy's on his way in the morning, or at noon intermission, or at sundown. The delicious singing of the mother, or the young wife at work, or the girl sewing or washing. Each singing what belongs to him or her, and to none else. The day that belongs to the day. At night, the party of young fellows, robust, friendly, singing with open mouths their strong, melodious songs. That's, get this up a little bit. There we go. That's Walt Whitman. There's a companion poem to this one, written by Langston Hughes, that I think is just tremendous. Sorry, I've got cats over there, which are annoying me. I shouldn't say that. Whatever, they are. All right, here we go. This is Langston Hughes' poem, I Too. I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes. But I laugh, I eat well, and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table. When company comes, no one will dare say to me, eat in the kitchen. Then, I'm gonna redo that. Nobody will dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America. There's a poem, that was Langston Hughes, I Too. There's a poem I'm going to read only a portion of. It's by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. It's a Longfellow poem called The Building of the Ship. This is a poem that is quite lengthy. It's 8 pages long when I printed it out. I was thinking, can I read this whole thing? It's a long, extended metaphor. And I'm going to read the first 2 pages of 8. So at least you'll kind of get the idea of what Longfellow's going for here. Anyway. The building of the ship. Build me straight, O worthy master. stanch and strong, a goodly vessel that shall laugh at all disaster, and with wave and whirlwind wrestle. The merchant's word delighted the master heard, for his heart was in his work, and the heart giveth grace unto every art. A quiet smile played around his lips, as the eddies and dimples of the tide play round the bows of ships, and steady at anchor ride. And with a voice that was full of glee, he answered, ere long we'll launch a vessel as goodly and strong and staunch as ever weathered a wintry sea. And first, with the nicest skill and art, perfect and finished in every part, a little model the master wrought, which should be to the larger plan what a child is to the man. A counterpart in miniature, with hand more swift and sure, the greater labor might be brought to answer to his inward thought. As he labored, his mind ran over the various ships that were built of yore. And above them all, the strangest of all, toward the great hairy crank and tall, whose picture was hanging on the wall, with bows and stern raised high in air, and balconies hanging here and there, the signal lanterns and flags afloat, and 8 round towers, like those that frown from some old castle looking down upon the drawbridge and the moat. And said with a smile, our ship, I wis, shall be another form than this. It was from another form indeed, built for freight and yet for speed. A beautiful and gallant craft, broad in the beam, but the stress of the blast pressing down upon the sail and mast, might not the sharp bows overwhelm. Broad in the beam, but the sloping aft with graceful curve and slow degrees, that she might be docile at the helm, and the currents of parted seas closing behind with mighty force might aid and not impede her course. The ship stood the master, with a model of the vessel that should laugh at all disaster, and with wave and whirlwind wrestle, covering a road of ground, lay timber piled round, timber of chestnut and elm and oak, the scattered here and there, with these the gnarled and crooked cedar knees, brought from regions far away, from Casagula's sunny bay, and the banks of the roaring Roanoke. Ah, what a wondrous thing it is to note how many wheels of toil, one thought, one word, can set in motion, that it's not set in motion. There's not a ship that sails the ocean, but every climate, every soil must bring its tribute, great or small, to help build the wooden wall. That's the first 2 pages of The Building of the Ship by Longfellow. Well worth a read if you wanted to. Do the rest of it. It's a good poem. Okay, I got 2 left here. The New Colossus is a poem I'm going to read. It's by Emma Lazarus. I'll read into it. If you don't recognize it, you will before we get to the end. Not the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here, at our sea-washed sunsets, here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome, her mild eyes command the bright air, the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep your ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, the tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. New Colossus. This last poem I wrote. It's one of a series that I called Eights. They were 8 lines long. There were 8 poems in a series, 8 lines long, and each line was 8 syllables. This is a poem called America, KBC Band. And it starts with a little snip of that song. Sing a song of America. Once she was a young girl with her heart on fire, born in the dust and the magic of history. It all goes on. The dream goes on. It's written by Paul Kantner and Marty Ballin. This poem's pretty short. If Lawrence Ferlinghetti got drunk on blooming lilacs and a 6-string played by Woody Guthrie, it would be this. The single most patriotic song to fall out of white San Francisco fog, complete with hunger, loss, Vietnam, youth, pioneers, and the F word. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.